Okay, King of Kings tournament, round one, and we've got Alexander Spectral Flames versus King Khay. King of Kings tournament, King Khay is named King, he wins. There you go, that was easy. I love it when it's this simple. Alright, let's get into it. Right, Alexander's verse. Yeah, I've already had a quick read through. This is not going to be an easy or a quick one, unfortunately. This looks pretty fucking close, and they both look pretty fucking dope. So, alright. Tongue faces. Bear in mind when preparing rhymes, you should have had that clause attached with the bigger pause than a bare disguise. Ironically, you claim to harm as waving arms, but it's obvious your disabilities are paralyzed. Your punches are shot. If it's a handicap, ain't nothing we'll cherish about it. And tearing Khay today is a parent giveaway like marriage announcements. Flames kills like a body's covered like apparel and outfits, and your someone will not see saved even with clerics in Auschwitz. Lol, saying you equip ratchets. Yeah, Khay brings cans and shells when the man's compelled to make a tuna fish sandwich. Clean. Khay's verse. I mean, with the 4-5 having taken them leads, he'll be left with more tears than crazy jeans. I'll make Flames bleed. Wait, his head'll get severed at breakneck speed. 9 to his mouth, but it's no figure of speech. These arms will leave him bloodier than used sanitary pads. Alex is a sad flaky, he's never been fully glad. He'll get fed up with rounds like a drunk chump, then rip his guts, toss his breathing organ over the sand turf, watch his lung jump. Brought him smoking ticks for your mug, like Mike Chicken in a premium nightmare. No gymnast, but these tools gonna stretch his legs you think his perineum might tear. Reaching out the phone booth, I'll pay and put the hit with rings. Have killers chasing your dumb ass, meaning they'll get you lined up on my tab without saving your number. Alright, not quite as clean. Not quite. Just off in a few places. Alright. Right, content, punches, wordplay. Alright, tongue faces. Bear in mind when preparing tongue faces. I'm just trying to think what King Khay's profile pic has been until recently. Was it an avatar with its tongue poking out? I think from memory, maybe. Tongue faces. Bear in mind when preparing rhymes, you should have had that clause attached with a bigger pause than a bare disguise. Clause attached, bigger pause than a bare disguise. It's fucking nice. I don't know what steps or clause he's talking about though. I don't get what the tongue faces thing is. It feels like that's one of those lines that is more aimed at his opponent than aimed at the judges or the audience. And you know, I do that a lot too. Alright, I do that a lot too. Often I don't actually fucking care about fucking votes. I don't care who wins or loses, as long as I know my opponent cries themselves to sleep that night. So maybe that's what Flames is doing here. But okay, bear in mind when preparing rhymes, you should have had that clause attached with a bigger pause than a bare disguise. I fucking love it. I just wish I knew what the clause was. I wish I knew what the backstory was. But the wordplay, the flow, the cadence, the punch is just fucking nice. Ironically, you claim to harm as waving arms, but it's obvious your disabilities are paralyzed. Okay, so he's saying Khay's always talking gun bars, he's always waving the arms, but ironically, dude's paralyzed and can't wave his arms. Also, he's saying his ability to diss anybody is severely paralyzed. Layers, right? Your punches are shot. Your punches are shot if it's a hand he capped. Your punches are shot if it's a hand he capped. taken literally, he's saying you just shot yourself in the hand, which is funny. Ain't nothing wheelchairish about it. So we got waving arms, disability, paralyzed, handicapped, wheelchair, and Tara and Khay today as a parent giveaway like marriage announcements. Kind of falls off a bit here, and Tara and Khay today is a parent giveaway. It's supposed to be a parent, but a parent and a parent is a bit forced as a wordplay. Like marriage announcements. So a parent and a parent is a bit forced. And we've gone from waving arms, paralyzed, handicapped, wheelchair to suddenly switching gears and going into a parent giveaway like marriage announcements. So just a little bit of a weird shift in gears there. I wish I'd been able to come up with just one more fucking thing on the whole handicap scheme, right? Or come up with one more thing on the beer scheme and played that one out a little bit longer to push this one back. Right, Flames kills. I got bodies covered. Flames kills. You know, that's a literal statement. I was a newspaper journalist and newspaper photographer. I went to a lot of house fires and wildfires and shit. Flames do kill. True fact. Flames kills. I got bodies covered like apparel and outfits. Nice. And your someone will not see saved even with clerics in Auschwitz. Apparel and outfits. See, I'm saying clerics in Auschwitz because I know it's supposed to rhyme with apparel and outfits, but it's not clerics, it's clerics, right? So that's a little bit forced. Unfortunately, the rhyme's off. So he's got bodies covered like apparel and outfits, and your someone will not see saved even with clerics in Auschwitz. I wish there was a stronger, clearer connection between apparel and outfits and clerics in Auschwitz. I wish there was a tighter rhyme, but I also wish there was a clearer connection. Lol at saying you equip ratchets. Yeah, Khay brings can and shells when the man's compelled to make a tuna fish sandwich. That's nice. You equip ratchets, so you know, like a fucking ratchet and can opener. So it ties in, and Khay brings can and shells when the man's compelled to make a tuna fish sandwich. Nice. It's just the shells. I wish there was something in there about prawns or shrimp or anything that has fucking shells, because last time I checked, tuna fish don't have a shell. But you know, that's nitpicky. But hey, it's a pretty fucking dope battle. They've both brought some fire, so we have to get nitpicky. One of these motherfuckers has to lose. That's how life works, right? This is the bit your parents didn't tell you. One of these motherfuckers has to lose, and it's my job to decide which bitch that is. So I have to get picky. Alright. Khay's verse. A meme with the 4-5, haven't taken them leads. He'll be left with more tears than crazy jeans. I'll make flames bleed. Wait, his head will get severed at breakneck speed. So okay, he'll be left with more tears than crazy jeans. You can read that as tears as in, you know, like crying from your eyes, and you can read that as tears as in, you know, like fucking massive tissue damage from gunshot wounds. More tears than crazy jeans. I'll make flames bleed. Wait, his head will get severed at breakneck speed. Khay's really fucking channeling his inner Vinny Real with this format, with this structure, with these bars. I like it. his head will get severed at breakneck speed. So his head's getting severed. Obviously, if you sever somebody's head, you have to break the neck to remove the head. So cool. 9 to his mouth, but it's no figure of speech. These arms will leave him bloodier than used sanitary pads. Now, 9 to his mouth, but it's no figure of speech. So 1, he's going to take a 9mm pistol and he's going to press it to or into his mouth. Second meaning, he's going to throw arms and he's going to punch the motherfucker in the mouth 9 times. Either way, these arms will leave him bloodier than used sanitary pads. Bloodier than used sanitary pads. You know, it's a pretty played concept, but we'll see where it goes. Alex is a sad flaky. He's never been fully glad. Fuck. Dude, you flew so close to the sun there, and then you just fucking crashed. These arms will leave him bloodier than used sanitary pads. Alex is a sad flaky. He's never been fully glad. 1, that's some garbage grammar. It's obviously just fucking shoehorned in there to find a multi. And you know, it just kind of that one line out of the whole fucking verse, that one line is just a little bit fucking cringe, and I wish it wasn't there, because it just lets everything down. You just obviously fucking struggled for a fucking multi, and he came up with something, and he's like, how the fuck can I make never been fully glad work? You should have just changed sanitary pad. If you couldn't come up with a multi better than that, you should have just gone back to this previous line. Bloodier than used sanitary pads. Should have said bloodier than a tampon. You know, bloodier than a bitch's rags or something. You should have come up with some synonym for sanitary pad and had another crack at a different multi, right? He'll get fed up with rounds like a drunk chump. So this goes back to, he'll put the 9 in Flamez' mouth and he'll get fed a diet of rounds from the firearm, and also rounds like drinking, my round, my shout, like a drunk chump. Then rip his guts, toss his breathing organ over to sand turf, watch his lung jump. Toss his breathing organ over the sand turf. That shitty grammar, all you had to do was add a Y on the end of that word. Sandy turf. And that would just make perfect grammatical sense and it would roll off the tongue. So watch that shit, you know, grammar matters, little details matter, right? It all affects the readability, it all affects how smoothly the reader's eye can follow. Then rip his guts, toss his breathing organs, and again, organ needs to have an S on the end, you know. Then again, you do say lung singular, but yeah, we generally speak about lungs in pairs, so, you know, breathing organs, plural, watch his lungs jump, you know, probably just be a little bit more readable, a little smoother. Now, watch his lung jump. Unless I'm missing something, you're referring to a lungfish, right? An axolotl, whatever the fuck they are, a lungfish, amphibious creature. So I mean, the connection is there, but it's a little vague, it's a little messy, and I have to think a little bit too hard and wonder what it is you're meaning, whereas you really want to be explaining it to me very, very clearly. You want to assume that I'm too fucking stupid to figure out your bars, and you want to spell it out to me, right? Always write your punches for the stupidest person in the room. Brought him smoking text for your mug, like Mike checking in on Premium Nightmare. I had to Google Premium Nightmare, so like it's a fucking cell phone game app. Premium, obviously the paid one. Smoking text for your mug, like Mike checking in on Premium Nightmare. Do you mean Mike DeSanto? Is Mike a character in the game? I don't know. It's a little vague. I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about. And again, your job as the author is to explain to me, the audience, what you're talking about. It's like Flamez' first bar. Like, it's a really fucking nice wordplay. It's a really nice fucking punch. It's a really nice bar. I just wish I knew what the clause was. Clause attached with a bigger pause. Like, did he just say that because it fucking rhymes and it sounds cool? Or does it mean something? I don't fucking know. And I wish a motherfucker told me. Alright. Right, back to brought him smoking text for your mug, like Mike Chicken on Premium Nightmare. Smoking text. Is that supposed to be a Tech 9 text battle wordplay? Is that tech as in technology? Is it something to do with the game? I don't know. That's all just a little bit fucking confused. Maybe if I played the game I would know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. Maybe I wouldn't, but I don't know. It just needs to be clearer. No gymnast, but these tools can stretch his legs. You'd think his perineum might tear. That's a fucking cold line, man. That's savage. Like the imagery it brings, it's just savage. No gymnast, but these tools can stretch his legs. You'd think his perineum might tear. Savage. But you're the one wielding the tools, right? So they're gonna stretch his legs. What, when he's stretched out on the ground, stretched out in the morgue? You're gonna shove your gun up his ass. He's going to stretch his legs while running away from you because you have a gun and you're trying to kill him. I don't know. Him running away with giant strides is the only way I can think of that he would actually tear his perineum. Unless you are going to physically shove a gun up his anus and shoot rounds up there, in which case I think his perineum probably is going to tear, and it's going to be the least of his problems. But okay. Reaching out in phone booth. Reaching out in a phone booth. Come on, man. Don't be lazy. Grammar matters. Reaching out in the phone booth. I'll pay him put the hit with rings. Have killers chasing your dumbass. Chasing your dumbass. Meaning I'll get you lined up on my tab without saving your number. Chasing your dumbass, saving your number. The rhyming's a little bit off there. Reaching out in the phone booth, so like reaching out to somebody else. It's also kind of funny because reaching out in a phone booth is difficult because it's a small space. I'll pay him put the hit with rings. Unless I'm missing something here, you're just saying that he's going to put out a contract on the dude. He's going to pay somebody to kill his opponent. He's also going to have to pay to make the phone call. His opponent is going to be killed with the rings, with the firearms. But also he's going to have to ring somebody to organize the hit. Have killers chasing your dumbass, meaning I'll get you lined up on my tab. I'll get you lined up on my tab. So he's also talking about the guy's phone line. I'll get you line up on my tab. His tab as in his account, he's got to pay for the phone bill. Also tab as in like a browser tab, right? Or a contacts tab in his phone without saving your number. Okay, so it's all there. It's all there. A little convoluted, but it's all there. Now, Khay has stuck to one fairly consistent theme throughout his whole verse, which is, I'm a badass motherfucker with guns and I'm going to kill you, bitch. Which is a pretty, simple theme. It's a simple narrative. It's easy to stay on that and not stray. But he has kept things fairly consistent, narratively. Alexander lets himself down a little bit by jumping from theme to theme, scheme to scheme, and giving me a little bit of whiplash as he does it. Transitioning from beer disguise to the handicap disability shit was quite smooth, but then jumping from the handicap disability shit, suddenly jumping into the parent giveaway marriage announcements, that was quite harsh and jarring. That came with a jolt, an unpleasant jolt. Apparel and outfits, clerics in Auschwitz, that was fucking whiplash. You're taking the reader along on a journey, like try and make it a smooth one. Think of yourself as a tour guide, painting pictures. Try not to take people through portals from one place to a completely different place without explaining how you got there, right? Saying you equip ratchets, tuna fish sandwich, that's nice. Alright. So, Flames the standouts. Bear in mind, preparing rhymes, claws attached, bigger paws than a beer disguise. Fuck, that's nice. Not gonna lie, that's fucking nice. Claim to harm is waving arms. It's obvious your disabilities are paralysed. Your punches are shot. It's a handicap. Ain't nothing we'll cherish about it. Tearing Khay today. Yeah, fucking right up to there. That's where it falls off. Ain't nothing we'll cherish about it. Bang. It kind of fucking ends there. And tearing Khay today as a parent giveaway, like marriage announcements, is just bolted on the end uncomfortably. Everything prior to that is fucking worthy of roses. Flames kills, I got bodies covered with apparel and outfits, and you're someone will not see saved, even the clerics in Auschwitz. I got bodies covered, like apparel and outfits is nice. And then you let it down a bit with will not see someone saved, even the clerics in Auschwitz. The rhyme is off, apparel and clerics doesn't work. And it's just there's no obvious connection between the two. Lol saying you equip ratchets, your Khay brings a can of shells when the man's compelled to make a tuna fish sandwich. Okay, so it's literally easier to list the parts of your verse that are not quotable, and that's the harsh jump to parent giveaway marriage announcements. Saved even with clerics in Auschwitz, I'm not really feeling that. Everything else is fire. Alright, Khay. Men with a 4-5 haven't taken him leads. He'll be left with more tears than crazy jeans. It's nice. I make Flames bleed. Wait, his head will get severed at breakneck speed. That's nice. 9 to his mouth. There's no figure of speech. His arms will leave him bloodier than used sanitary pads. Alex is a sad flaky. He's never been fully glad. Falls off there. Maybe there's nothing quite as fucking haymakery, room shakery leading up to that as there was in the other guy's verse. He'll get fed up with the rounds like a drunk chump, rip his guts, toss it. Yeah, that's a little confused. Smoking text for your mug, chicken on a premium nightmare. Yeah, that's a little confused. I don't play the game. I don't know which mic you're talking about. A little lost. No gymnast. He's tossed and stretched his legs. You'd think his perineum might tear. It's a little confused, but perineum might tear is just so fucking savage that you don't really notice until you start getting really picky. Reaching out the phone booth, paying put the hit with rings. He'll kill us chasing you dumbass. Man, he'll get your line up on tab without saving your number. chasing your dumbass and saving your number are forced as a rhyme and don't work. You really don't want to close and finish on an off rhyme. So while this is fairly close, I think for me it's a fairly easy call. Alexander Spectral Flames gets my vote. He's only got a couple of moments where he fucks up and falls off. And huge chunks of both bars are just fucking chef's kiss. Khay's brought like a nice verse. He's got some really fucking cool spots. But I think fucking Alexander was just fucking firing on all cylinders today, and that for me is a pretty convincing win. So that's who gets my vote, Alexander Spectral Flames. Congratulations.